Shipman was charged originally with 2 counts of delivery of articles prohibited into the Stratford County House of Corrections, which means he was introducing illegal contraband into the House of Corrections without the permission of the superintendent. Today he pled to 1 count of possession of controlled drug, which had a sentence attached to it of 1 to 2 years in the New Hampshire State Prison. Mr. Shipman was taken into custody immediately after the sentencing and will be transported to Concord State Prison to begin serving that sentence. The reason why it was a state prison sentence and not a House of Corrections sentence is because law enforcement officers are held to a higher standard. With jail officials, as well as the Stratford County Sheriff's Office, does everything it can to try to keep our jail facility safe. We run rehabilitative programs inside of the jail, and it is counterintuitive and counterproductive to have anyone bringing illegal substances into a facility where we're trying to treat and teach about drug abstinence and rehabilitation. And of course, the overriding concern of all county officers is to keep our House of Corrections as safe as possible for all inmates. So it was particularly important that we held Mr. Shipman to a level of punishment as well as deterrence in this particular case. We had to balance that, of course, with the fact that he has no criminal history whatsoever and was remorseful and did confess his crimes. And so I think that's why Judge Howard, who presided over this hearing, was willing to take the sentence exactly as it was written.
So exactly what does that sentence entail, Tom? How many years will he be in prison?
So he will be in prison for at least 1 year. He has 3 days of pre-trial confinement credit. So he will be serving 362 more days in Concord or Berlin, whichever men's prison he is sent to, and then he will be parole eligible at that time.
You mentioned that you started the investigation because some inmates were falling ill. Could you describe the symptoms?
These inmates, particular housing pods, were showing typical signs of opiate use. Lethargy, pinpointed pupils, and staff is trained to notice these kinds of things, and that began some of our inquiries with House of Corrections inmates. How are you getting it? What is it that's coming in, and how can we possibly stop it? And to their credit, many of these inmates wanted to improve the quality of their housing situation, so they cooperated in this investigation and provided information, which eventually led to the possibility that Mr. Shipman was one of the persons bringing the substances in when he would come in on shift.
So what's the message for the community here, Tom?
I think the message to the community is that this drug epidemic can affect anyone and everyone in various ways, that Stratford County as a community between the sheriff, the jail, and the county attorney's office remains ready, willing, and vigilant to hold anyone, and that means anyone, accountable for this conduct, and including a corrections officer, including a sheriff's deputy, frankly, including anyone in my own office. If it ever came to an indication that we were somehow facilitating or helping to spread the disease of addiction. We are very willing to continue to look at this issue. This issue doesn't begin and end with Bryant Shipman. It's an ongoing issue. We have to stay vigilant, try to keep our jail as safe as possible, and try to teach inmates to speak out about what is going on in their facility, to keep everyone as safe as possible, and have them not be in greater danger inside of the facility than they might be on the street.